She just wanted food for her daughter. Those were the only words echoing in her mind as she stood near the glass doors of the restaurant, fingers trembling, stomach hollow, heart pounding louder than the city traffic outside. Before the story even truly begins, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen someone judged in a single glance? If stories about kindness, injustice, and quiet miracles move you, tap like, subscribe, and stay with me, because this one will stay in your heart long after it ends. The restaurant was warm, bright, and smelled like freshly baked bread and grilled chicken, everything she hadn't tasted in months. Her name was Amna, a young mother with tired eyes that had learned to hide tears. Her daughter, Zoya, was only 6, sitting on the pavement outside, hugging her knees and pretending not to be hungry. Amna had promised her they'd eat soon. She didn't know how she'd keep that promise, only that she had to try. Amna stepped inside, clutching her worn shawl tighter around herself. Conversations softened as a few heads turned. Some eyes lingered longer than they should have. She approached the counter slowly, rehearsing the words she was afraid to say. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely louder than a whisper. "Sir, I'm sorry to bother you. I don't have money, but my daughter hasn't eaten all day. If there's any leftover food, anything, I'd be grateful." The manager, a sharply dressed man with a forced smile and impatient eyes, looked her up and down. His smile twisted into something colder. "This is a restaurant, not a charity kitchen," he said loudly enough for nearby customers to hear. "We don't give free meals. You people always come with stories." Amna felt heat rush to her face. Her hands shook. "Please," she said, swallowing hard. "I'm not asking for much. Just a little food." "She's a child." The manager scoffed. "And I'm supposed to believe that? If I feed you, 10 more will line up. Go somewhere else." A few customers shifted uncomfortably. Some avoided eye contact. Others watched with quiet curiosity. Amna nodded slowly, humiliation pressing down on her chest like a weight. She turned to leave, every step heavier than the last. She didn't know that from the corner table near the back, someone had been watching everything. The man sat alone, dressed simply, sipping tea, his face calm but his eyes sharp. To anyone else, he looked like just another customer. In reality, he was the CEO of the restaurant chain, Adil Rahman. He rarely announced himself during surprise visits. He believed people showed their true character when they thought no one important was watching. And he had just seen everything. Adil remembered his own childhood too clearly, the nights his mother went to sleep hungry so he could eat. The looks of pity. The doors shut in their faces. He set his cup down slowly. As Amna reached the door, the manager added one last remark, almost casually, "And don't come back." That was when Adil stood up. "Excuse me," he said calmly. The manager straightened instantly. "Yes, sir. Is this how we treat people here?" Adil asked. The manager frowned, confused. "Sir, she was asking for free food. We can't encourage beggars." Adil's eyes hardened, but his voice remained steady. "She wasn't begging. She was asking for help." There was a silence so thick it felt heavy. Customers leaned in slightly, sensing something was about to change. Adil walked past the manager and toward Amna. "Madam," he said gently, "where is your daughter?" Amna looked up, startled. "Outside, sir." "Please bring her in," he said. "And sit." The manager opened his mouth to protest, but one look from Adil stopped him cold. Minutes later, Zoya sat at a table, eyes wide as plates of warm food were placed in front of her: rice, chicken, bread, and juice. She hesitated, looking at her mother for permission. "It's okay," Amna whispered, tears finally spilling. "Eat." Zoya smiled, a real smile, the kind Amna hadn't seen in weeks, and started eating. Adil watched quietly, then turned to the manager. "What's your name?" Farhan, sir." "How long have you worked here, Farhan?" 5 years, sir. "And in 5 years, you haven't learned that this company was built on dignity," Adil said. "On respect." The manager stammered, "Sir, I was just following." "You were following your ego," Adil cut in. "Not our values." He turned back to Amna. "If you're comfortable sharing, what happened?" Amna hesitated, then spoke softly. Her husband had died 2 years earlier in an accident. Hospital bills took everything. Jobs came and went. Rent piled up. Some days, she ate once so Zoya could eat twice. Today, there was nothing left. Adil listened without interrupting. When she finished, he said, "Thank you for trusting us with your story." He stood and addressed the restaurant. "Everyone here today will have their meals on the house." A murmur spread through the room, surprise, approval, quiet applause. Then Adil turned back to the manager. "Farhan, hand in your badge." The manager's face drained of color. "Sir, please. We can train skills," Adil said. "But we cannot train humanity." Farhan left without another word. Adil arranged more than just a meal for Amna that day. He connected her with the company's support program, helped her secure stable work, and ensured Zoya's school fees were covered. Not out of pity, but out of belief. Weeks later, Amna stood behind a counter of the same restaurant, now in a clean uniform, confidence slowly returning to her posture. She greeted customers with warmth because she knew how much kindness could change a life. One evening, Adil returned quietly. Amna recognized him instantly. "She's top of her class now," Amna said proudly, talking about Zoya. "And, we eat every day." Adil smiled. "You did the hard part," he said. "You didn't give up." As he walked out, he looked back at the restaurant, at the people eating, laughing, living, and felt certain of one thing. A single moment of compassion can rewrite an entire future. So if this story touched you, even a little, remember, kindness is always watching, even when you think no one is. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story, because someone out there might just be waiting for a little hope.